Good morning, YouTube. Decided to make a video today because there's a really bad storm in my area and it put my electric out. And it got me really kind of a little bit thinking about, our shift situation. And I've been doing a lot of commenting on YouTube for some of my subscribers or subscribees or whatever you want to call that. And, there seems to be a lot of arguing about combat training or, tactical gun training. And I think that a lot of the YouTube prepper society is putting way too much emphasis on this. I think that knowing how to, load and use a firearm is great, or, some kind of tactical plan for maybe an individual plan for your survival is great, but, I really feel like there's so much more if a shift situation happens, if the grid falls and there's no electric and there's no, Walmart, those stockpiles that you guys got and, those shelves full of food and ammunition, eventually it's going to run out. And, running water, electricity, manufacturers, it's not going to be available, and it's definitely going to set us back a few hundred years. So I'm a firm believer that skills are what's going to set apart whether you survive or not, I guess I should say. Because if you don't have certain skills or a certain mindset, you're not going to survive. You can have all the combat training classes in the world, but if you don't have other skills like alternative medicines, CPR, first aid, gardening, how to plant a crop and maintain that crop until harvest, and then the canning / storage process so that crop doesn't go bad throughout the year. Metalworking, whether it's blacksmithing or sand casting or how to raise livestock, or what to look for when animals get sick, or basic carpentry, or how to cook your food, whether it's cooking from scratch, because you can't just go to the grocery and buy certain items that you normally would or take advantage of. Now you're going to have to cook from scratch from the items that you grew or raised, or and fire pit cooking, or having clay ovens, or hunting skills to get meat. You can have 100 guns, but if you don't know how to hunt and you don't know how to stalk prey in the woods, or set up a tree stand and hunting skills per se, you're not going to get much more than the average little squirrel running around your yard. I think a lot of preppers really need to take into account the vast variety of skills that are going to be needed after a shift situation, rather than arguing over, who has the best gun and who has the most tactical training, and I mean, not that these skills are bad skills to know or anything. They're up there in importance, but there's just so many more levels to this where everybody can't be Rambo. Everybody can't be Chuck Norris. And if you watch those movies, at what part do you see them eat? Because it's a movie, it's television. And I know a lot of you guys are vets or combat vets, but you had the U.S. government behind you. They were sending in MREs or some kind of food source. If you don't have these other skills and all you know how to do is fight, combat, guns, how are you going to eat? Because sooner or later, I mean, unless your plan is to loot and, basically becoming a criminal because you have a firearm and, stealing other people's food, which that too will eventually run out. The skills needed are skills that make you self-reliant, skills that have been lost in the last 100 years or so due to Walmart. I mean, I've never plowed a field. I don't know all that much about farming or gardening. So when I try to think of skills that I need or, knowledge that I need to obtain in a ship situation, those are the ones I'm thinking about. Not so much of how to defend myself. Of course, that's not a problem. But, there's just so much more on so many other levels. And if you just concentrate on, how many guns you have and how much ammo you have and, tactically if you're at a higher point, I mean, it's not going to work out for you in the end. And for me, I want it to work out. So I know that there's all these other skills that I need to find out about because knowledge is power. Knowledge is what's going to get me through. Not an AR-15 or an SKS or any individual tool, because that's what firearms are. They're just another tool. And if you're putting all your stock in combat training or how many guns you have or how much ammo you have or how much food you have or how much, medical supplies you have stockpiled, you're building your house on sand.